macht die Präsidentin in unserem Vorgarten?
Unsere gesamte Welt ist in großer Gefahr. Ich will, dass du mitkommst. Auf eine Expedition.
Ich bin nicht mein Vater. Er war der Entdecker.
Ich weiß, du warst noch ein Kind, als er verschwunden ist. Aber jetzt bist du alles, was wir haben.
Mr. Clade, ich bin ein riesiger Fan
danke.
Ihres Vaters.
Wo in aller Welt sind wir? Du hast den Hund mitgebracht.
Ich will nur helfen.
Wir befinden uns eindeutig auf unbekanntem Terrain.
Hallo, Sie verstehen wahrscheinlich kein Wort von dem, was ich sage.
Aber natürlich verstehe ich dich.
Dad?
Dad?
Großvater?
Ich bin Großvater.
Was ist das für ein Ort?
Die Klippen sind lebendig. Und das Wasser löst dir das Fleisch von deinen Knochen.
Was ist das denn?
Der ist ja so süß. Den will ich als Plüschi haben.
Vor allem, weil sie im Grunde sowas wie ein und dieselbe Person sind.
Ist alles in Ordnung? Ich rede mit meinem Sohn.
Haltet euch fest! Kommt schon, wir haben die Welt zu retten!
Mir nach! Und springt!
Du kriegst das hin, Ethan. Das liegt dir doch im Blut. Einfach mutig sein.
Na, das will ich doch wohl auch meinen.
Oh, hey,
Komm.
drüber. Über die... Nein, um die rum.
Ja.
Well, Strange World is a special movie. We have an adventure movie, but also 50s sci-fi action and a family story. And all of that is incredibly complex and staged with multiple layers. We know a lot of adventure movies that are dominated by one main character, you know, like Indiana Jones, or a troop of wildly mixed strangers. And here we discover a family, a father-son story, and also generational conflicts. Where did the idea come from to throw in a family like the Clades into such an adventure?
Well, it started just with my own kids and thinking about, you know, thematically, like what kind of world they're going to inherit and what kind of world did I inherit from my dad. And so the very beginnings of the story, I was already thinking about generations and this idea of what it means to be a good ancestor, because I wanted the film to be an environmental story, you know. Then, of course, the adventure part, because I love adventure stories so much. And, you know, I wanted to marry those two things. And you know, really, it all kind of started with Jaeger, to be honest. And the idea of deconstructing this kind of, you know, super adventurer archetype but not telling the story through his point of view, but telling it from his sons. And what would his son be like? And, you know, growing up with a father who is bigger than life and kind of a superhero. And what if, you know, that son didn't want to go in that direction? What if that son wanted to do something different, like, you know, cultivating plants and farming? And that's what Searcher is. So it you know, it seemed like that was some good conflict right there. And then, you know, letting Searcher, because Qui and we have sons and we have kids, and, you know, we're at the same age as Searcher, and to complicate it even further, you know, letting Searcher have a child who, you know, is kind of following in his footsteps, but maybe is starting to feel like maybe that's not for him. And it felt like it was kind of a rich cast of characters to take on this kind of wild journey.
Well, what was extremely fascinating for me was discovering the whole world of Avalonia. You've done some really cool world building, and the world feels vibrant. It feels dripping and alive, literally. Where did you get your inspiration for this? I mean, I felt many Jules Verne vibe in here, even a bit of Hayao Miyazaki. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. The Miyazaki was a influence. Yeah. I know a lot of people at our studio are big Miyazaki fans. But when it came to really like the inspiration, obviously it's what you're indicating, the thing we don't want to spoil. We did a lot of research in that area about, you know, different environments and biomes to create the thing. But ultimately, we just told our artists to kind of run wild with with it. It was kind of a blank page, and kind of encouraged them to be as weird as possible. We only had a few rules. Like one was no faces on the creatures. That's why Splat looks the way it does, and also to reserve the colors of blue, green, and brown earth tones to stay at the top of the world. So they created new color combinations that ultimately, in a very fun way, as the color starts to desaturate throughout the film, kind of created its own tension, its own drama. So it was really fun to see how the magic of Disney animation really created a brand new environment you never seen in any animated film or any live action film at that.
Yeah, awesome. And I don't want to spoil the movie, but the themes of Strange World are very deep, almost philosophical, and more relevant to our world and society than ever. And in many scenes, it also feels personal. What themes and aspects in Strange World were closest to your hearts?
Well, again, going back to the very beginning, looking at, what kind of world my kids were going to inherit, and wanting to, make a movie that speaks to that, and because it is an environmental movie, and it was top of mind in, 2017, and it's top of mind now. I think it's the biggest question that we need to wrestle with currently. And so I really, I'm proud that we were able to tell a story that speaks to that, but also be a big, fun adventure story as well.
The same for you, Keith?
I mean, the other part is obviously like the three main characters, Jaeger, Searcher, and Ethan, are characters that are very close to home to Don and I. I mean, we see aspects of all three of those characters within ourselves. We understand the ambition that Jaeger has. We wouldn't be a Disney animation. We didn't have the desire to reach for horizons that seem impossible. We know what it's like to be a father like Searcher, that at one point, like, I'm not going to be anything like my dad, only to realize that those are probably the best aspects about ourselves. And we've, of course, wouldn't be here if there wasn't some part in our adolescence where we had to stand up and go, hey, we can't be the thing that you wanted us to be. We got to cut our own path, and that's how we got here.
Amazing. Thank you so much for this great interview. I wish you much success, and I really hope that Strange World will also win the hearts of the worldwide audiences.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Have a great day.